You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to Nerds Podcast. I'm Pooba here with Pete, and we're very excited to talk about HBO's hit series, Welcome to Derry. If this is your first time watching, welcome. And don't forget to hit that like button after you hear the conversation, which then should lead to a subscription, of course. Of course, we're going to talk about all the Nerdist conversation, and hit that bell so you get notified every single time we drop a new episode. I'd like to give a fat shout out to all of our fans. We are at 500 subscribers. Sorry, I'm so excited. Between me and Pete, we are more than thankful and appreciate everyone who's taken the time out to give a subscription, a like, and watch our videos as well. But let's get to it. Welcome to Derry continues its story in episode 3. It's labeled Now You See It. Pete, how did you see this episode?
They keep getting better. I can't, it sucks because we have to wait every week, and any other show you'd have to wait a week to watch it. If you're a fan of a show, you have to, if it's not something that's dropped on Netflix, even if it's on regular TV, if you're watching a show, you have to wait every week. But I don't know what it is about these streaming services. When they have a show, they're really going all out, and it's, this show in particular. And Peacemaker was the same. Peacemaker had that but they kind of disappointed at the end, promising all these cameos, and they didn't deliver on that. A little disappointed about that, but still, week to week, I was excited to see the next one. This one is really exciting. What was that?
This is really exciting. I agree.
This one is different. Pooba suggested we cover this. I probably wouldn't have watched this, so I did watch chapters 1 and 2 before this series came out, and this series has not disappointed. It definitely has not. The visuals, the storyline it's progressing again. It's a prequel to chapter 1 and 2, the movies, and they're starting to tie up they're starting to connect a lot of characters' backstories to what happened in the first 2 chapters in the movies, but. Episode 3 was good. A lot, some more special effects, and they're starting to dig deeper into what happened with Ronnie's dad. So, and trying to get themselves out of that hole because he is in jail now.
No, and I got some more Easter eggs for you, Pete. You're gonna be wowed by these, a couple of things, but for the most part, yeah, this episode, the kids and the military seem to be searching for the one thing, and the same thing, they're searching for it. And we open with the flashback going back 54 years to 1908 at a carnival. Now, if you're paying attention since the book, the miniseries, the movies, and now this show, you know that it appears every 27 years and it feeds on the fears of humans. Then it goes back into a hibernation. Pete, as soon as the show shows a certain year, I'm already doing the math in my head to figure out which cycle it is. And I thought we were going to get back to 1935, being that we just dug up the Bradley gang situation, but we jumped 2 cycles back. And we get a kid walking around by himself, so more great parenting. Pete, take me what you thought or what you saw through that first opening scene inside the carnival.
Well, when he went into the kind of like the fun house, right?
Yeah.
Now, one thing,
scary house, however you want to call it.
So yeah, it's, I guess not a haunted house, like a scary house. So didn't understand if I see something that I'm somewhat skeptical of, and it's dark and I'm scared and it's telling me to come closer, that's the last thing I'm going to do. So, of course, he's a kid. He went closer and closer and closer. And, of course, what revealed himself was, I don't even know what to call that, or whatever it was.
Skeleton Man. It was the skeleton.
That's what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, this is a horror. This is definitely a horror series. So I'm not shocked by what they're showing us. You said it's a skeleton man. He was missing an eye, correct?
Yeah.
Very, very creepy looking, older looking man. But of course, like if he's called the Skeleton Man, he's on the thin side, very bony. They kind of like showed him adjusting his like shoulders, and like
Oh, you
you
hear the
heard
bones cracking?
yeah, you heard his bones cracking. So very on key, for what this has been so far. The chapter 1 and 2, and then these first 3 episodes, they're definitely not missing a beat. Very creepy seeing that guy just coming out. Again, come closer. And I'm like, no, I'm not going closer, bro. I'm going the other way. I changed my mind. I'm gonna leave. But he went closer.
Did, yeah.
He effed around and found out, because it was
definitely
creepy especially for a kid to see.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, listen, we get more lineage, right? We get Francis Shaw, who was basically followed in the footsteps of his father and joined the military as well, because his dad was in the military. It did remind me of It Chapter 2, when they showed the carnival and Bill went in there and he had it inside the House of Mirrors.
Yes.
Very similar to that for me. A couple of Easter eggs here. They were throwing the balls to knock down items. Those items were clowns. There was only one red clown with red hair, and there was also turtles, of course, referencing it and its opposite, Maturin. We see a clown with a very similar face, with a Pennywise type of face, but it's kind of a female with red balloons. I'm curious to who she is, Pete. Are you?
I think the way they kind of focused on her in that last shot of that scene, I figured it was an Easter egg, but I can't tell you if it is or not. I'm thinking the way they focus on her, I'm like, that's possibly an Easter egg, but I couldn't tell you what it is and if it is or if it isn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, and when I've read the book now, I've completed it. I didn't see that in the book at all. Francis Kid Shaw sees those conjoined twins when he first walked in. Ooh. I did think that is a nod to the Grady twins from The Shining, the 2 twins that were in the thing. So I'm just thinking he kind of threw it out there. Andy Muschietti, the showrunner, makes an appearance. He's the guy playing the piano.
Yes, with the cigar.
Yeah, so Francis meets, of course, like you said, the skeleton, and this unlocks the new fear for Francis, right? So, and of course, as we see later, this is going to be used by Pennywise, as you stated, Pete. Why did he go in there? How many matches does the skeleton man actually have to do this every time? What a trick that he has. But of course, as he runs out, he bumps into his dad, who's asking him to man the F up. But
don't be a sissy.
Yeah, stop being a sissy. He gives him a gift, a slingshot. And we know that the slingshot is used in the miniseries, and it's a big thing inside the book as well. But he takes that slingshot, Pete, and he trades it later when he meets Rose for some water. They make a friendship over the summer, and Rose uses the slingshot on him to escape later in the woods, Pete. Did it hit you that the head of the military, Francis Shaw, the general, and Rose were those 2 kids from the jump? Did it hit you?
No, it did not.
Yeah. I found out once he walked into the store. That's when it hit me.
Yeah.
I'm a late bloomer, guys. I'm sorry.
You catch more than me. You catch more than me, because when they showed them together, I said, "Oh wow! Look at that! I love it! I love it!"
And I did it. I caught it the same time you did. Did you notice that when she hit him with the slingshot, that the blood doesn't drip down? Very similar to the movies, yes. It goes up, right? Yeah. So as much as he goes down, they all float, even the blood. And I want to say this right because I'm reading it out of the book, but the Chickapewa people in the book, they knew about it. And it clearly comes across in the series, and I love it. Pete, do you agree with that?
With what?
With the Chickapewa people, the natives that are there, the indigenous people, they clearly know that and like it comes across for me in this series that they know there's something like that 1908 scene. It clearly comes across that they know that there's something in the woods that they don't want to go into it.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to hear you say the name again.
Chickapewa.
Yeah, but no, that was. It was weird the way she knew. She was like, "No, we're good," and he was like, "Wait a minute, let's go." Like you wanted to keep running from the older man that he bumped into when they were out in the woods. That same old man from the scary house attacked him, but at the same time, it transformed into something very similar to like Mrs. Kirsch a very tall, a lanky type of monster chasing him through the woods. And
Even the one
like
that went in like the painting as well was kind of that slender, tall
very,
thing.
very like you know what it's like too, like that the Slender Man.
Hit it on the head, bro. You hit it on the head with that one. Yes.
Yeah, very similar build to that, very long and lanky, and he's kind of crawling on all fours, chasing him. But once he does get out of the woods, but he is saved because she does use the slingshot to hit him in the face to distract him. Then he's able to run out of the woods, and he does not leave the woods. So, based on the fact that they know about that, that showed it as well. Like, look, we know we shouldn't be in there, but we know that we're safe here.
Yeah, which is crazy now because it all makes sense now why this general is so obsessed with finding it because he faced them when back in 1908. Now, we have to talk about 1908 because 1908 is where the event of the Ironworks explosion happened. And Pete, I missed something in the intro. Now, if you go into the expansion of as they're showing the little girl running, you can clearly see the clown trailer for Pennywise. But of course, that's the same trailer that Dick Halloran meets it when he's on the plane. But I'll point it out to you in just a moment here. But Lily's mother, Miss Brainsbury, picks up Lily over at the asylum. She talks with the doctor, and he basically ups her dose of, I want to say this right, chlorpromazine. Now, this was used back in the days to treat schizophrenia. There's like the 50s and the 60s used this medicine. It's no longer something that they use. And now we get a scene with Lily and the head of the nursing staff. Now, this is played by Madeline Stowe. She is on the list of characters, but they don't say who she is. She explains to Lily that she believes her, that life is a journey, and it's most important who you go on with that journey with, as she puts on that charm bracelet on her. Now, they have not announced this, Pete, but I think this is none other than Annie Wilkes from Misery. She was a nurse. If you remember, she's a nurse. So this is Misery. I'm saying this is Misery. I'm going to put that out there. I'll be the first one to say it because she would say something like this. It's a psychotic stalker, of course, who kept James Caan's character, Paul Sheldon, hostage. What do you think about that, Pete?
So I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of how, of course, we see Doc from The Shining is there, and they're starting to touch on his story and his involvement. So I do like this, but it doesn't add up. If we're talking about, well, maybe it does, because we're in the 60s, and that happened. That's a good one, man. That's a good.
And I'm taking a stab at this. Like, I'm really
know.
taking a stab at this, but I think that's Annie Wilkes from Misery.
So,
and what other place would she love to do where they're doing lobotomies or hitting people in the eye? So I'm thinking that's her.
This is dope. If it's true, this would be awesome. If this is true, great. That's a great catch. Misery, phenomenal movie. Of course, Kathy Bates. She won for best supporting actress. I mean, best lead actress in for that movie. That movie is really good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Poof. Listen,
yeah,
I'm hoping that it is. The fact that they haven't announced her character, like if you look at her character, it will not tell you who it is. I think that's Annie Wilkes. We will see. I always say we will return. We will fact check this one because this is extremely interesting to me. I want to know now. I gotta know if this is who Puba said. And if it is, it's awesome. I think it's awesome. But if it's not, it's a pretty good good take there. We get Chief Bauer visiting Ronnie's dad, Hank, and while we know that Hank is innocent of the kid's death in the movie theater, he's offered some Pall Mall cigarettes, and then Hank says he prefers Embassy Golds. Pete, they have an eyewitness, the pack of Embassy Golds, and Bowers knows he's lying about his alibi. What do you make of that?
He doesn't know that but he was home, wasn't he?
He was home, but
he thinks
we have an eyewitness. We have an eyewitness, and we have the pack of cigarettes that he said prior to him showing him the cigarettes.
No, I get it, but that doesn't mean that he's right. We all know that he wasn't there.
I know, but there's gonna be that can't be a setup. He couldn't have known that in advance unless he also has The Shining. But I don't know. I don't know. We get another Easter egg from Stephen King's books as Bowers asks Hank, "Do you know what they do to kitty killers in Shawshank?"
Ugh.
This is, of course, in reference to the main prison of Stephen King's universe, which is Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, which, of course, is adapted to one of the greatest movies in cinema history. Ronnie's locker is vandalized at school, and Lily tries to help her clean her hands, then comes up with a plan to take a picture of it to prove that Hank, Ronnie's dad, is innocent. They can't take it to Keen's, which is where the creepy pharmacist works. But we get back onto the military base where they inspected the 1930s car of that Harwin sense and found, and they found absolutely nothing. But then Shaw says something creepy, and that they're looking for what was buried in Derry 300 years before the automobile was even invented. Pete, what went through your mind hearing, knowing that the automobile wasn't invented until 1889, so he's looking for something that's 300 years before that?
It's an obsession. It's been, and of course, it's been around for a long time. So it's an obsession, and it just shows us how far back this goes. And I tried to do the math, same as you, because we're in the early 1900s. I mean, we went back to early 1900s, but this Welcome to Derry is set in the early 1960s. So, like you said, I think it's two cycles that of it that we're missing in between there. So yeah, it goes back, and again, the early 1900s probably goes, again, another cycle back into the late 1800s. So no, you can see how far back this can really go. But
So they've already hinted that 1935 will be season 2 and 1908 will be season 3. That's what they're saying as they give us hints of these things. But in the book, of course, this alien known as It landed way before that, Pete. In Muschetti's timeline, Derry was founded in 1791, where the settlers, basically like Roanoke, all disappeared. Howard then claims he spent a night with Aretha Franklin when he's talking to his boys inside the tent, and he's picked up to basically meet Russo and Hanlon on a flight operation. Howard basically now gets this cigar box and uses the slingshot to go back in time, where we talked about earlier how Francis met the Skeleton Man, the fear was unlocked. Now, remember when I stated that I don't know of any other movie or show that did a better job of casting kids to adults? Pete, adult Rose looked exactly like the girl that was casted in 1908. Did you agree or not disagree?
well, yeah, that's Muschetti, right? This is all him. So he no, it's a great job, and I, like you alluded to, back to chapters 1 and 2, that was a great job. But a fun fact there is that they allowed the kids to pick who they wanted to portray them.
Did not know that.
So young Mike Hanlon had chosen Chadwick Boseman to pick him, to portray him, but he wasn't available, so they went with Isaiah Mustafa.
That is so good. So good. All right, look, guys, dropping them like it's hot on this show right now. Rose gets told by her son that she found the car. So the tribe now knows what it's buried there. This show is introducing them as the children of Matron, which is completely new, and it's not in the book at all. We get back to basically what I'm calling the double H's, Howard and Hanlon and Russo. And they basically are led by this slingshot that Howard is kind of zoning in on, who basically he has to use his shine to guide them. But this creates a crazy turn of events as it finds and sees Howard. Pete, this scene blew my mind. What did it do for you?
That's our first kind of, exposure to it in Welcome to Derry. And you can see the look on Doc's face, like, because he's just staring into the, it's pitch black, and all he sees is his eyes, and Pennywise asks him, "Who are you?" So usually he's kind of the aggressor, but he didn't jump out like he was with the kids in chapters 1 and 2. So I don't know if the shining is kind of like keeping him at bay if he senses something, but just seeing his eyes, they're definitely teasing Pennywise.
Yeah, the water on the plane, the sewer, the latch did it for me when he closed it on him. That was super scary. We see the Pennywise trailer, the same one that we saw in the chapter 1, I believe, that we saw it at the bottom. And with the first time on this show, we get Bill Skarsgård voice. You're absolutely right. The question is, who are you? The body's floating, Pete, and items that Pennywise collected. It's still creepy looking at that stuff. Seeing the kids float around. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
We get images, of course, of Doc in the Korean War. There's a female figure in the distance. And then the same female figure is now floating above him. It's his grandmother.
Yeah.
And she had the shine, of course, and she passed it down to him. They did show it in Stanley Kubrick, in The Shining, when his grandmother's kind of, he mentions that his grandmother spoke to him, and they didn't even have to talk at times. When he was talking to Danny as a little kid, that scene right there came right at me. But how close did he come to falling off the plane, Pete?
Oh yeah, that was him opening the latch and him having to be saved by Hanlon. But again, that's him, he's not there. Physically he's in the plane, but his mind was someplace else. So he was acting on where his mind was at, not physically where he was at, because he would have been dead.
He would have been dead. So then General Shaw, of course, goes to the infirmary to see how Howard is doing, and he asks, "You saw it?" And he replies, "Was crazy. It was more to the nature of, it wasn't supposed to see us. It wasn't supposed to know." And apparently Pennywise does know that exists, which I think it will create the incident at the black spot in revenge to Howard, using the shine to locate him. He's not going to like that. So I think that's what's going to create at the end of this season, we're going to see the incident at the black spot. So Ronnie and Lilly find Rich and Will, and they were eating at the diner. Man, those burgers look good. I'm not going to lie. And they need them to develop film because they don't know how to develop film. And while Shaw pays a visit to Rose, we see the power of it and its infection as Shaw admits that he had forgotten about Rose. So everything that we saw in chapter 2, we're now seeing again, because as we were like, oh my God, it's them from 1908, but he forgot that she even existed. And it wasn't until the cease and desist letter that he got about the digging that he remembered her. Pete, I know we said it was the aha moment for us, but what did you think about them, man? Now you kind of it hits you hard like a ton of bricks when you're like, oh my God, these are the kids from 1908.
Yeah, they're continuing with the timeline. Like they're showing us these characters from wherever time period that like the story's at, with the circus and with the skeleton man. We're seeing him grow up into an older man, and his friend who he gave the slingshot to for the water after their car broke down, we see her as an older adult as well. So it's a cool aspect to have in this show that they're showing. And look, we saw it in chapters 1 and 2, the kids to the adults, and we're seeing it here a couple of times as well with different characters. So same thing with Hanlon with the son. We know what happens to him. So it's an enormous timeline from the early 1900s to what is it 2017 is what's been covered so far. So super dope. Makes sense. Super dope when they continue to show us characters as their kids and then as their adults. That's a dope twist to it for me.
Yeah, no, again, it's like they're filling in the gaps perfectly. And again, I don't know of another show that's done it like this before, but it really is just like on spot. Lilly takes the kids to the tower hideout where Rich comes up with the idea that it is an evil spirit called the Uricha, and he wants to do Santeria on it. That was absolutely crazy. But Pete, my favorite part of this whole episode is when Howard goes to Hanlon's house. And because you can clearly see where Howard's using the shine. Pete, what did you think of that scene when there's, he's picking his wife's brain? He mentions, of course, about his son. talk to me what you think about that scene.
Well, yeah, the first thing that kind of raised the eyebrow was he was like, "Yo, I never told you I had a son." So that's when it was just like, "Oh, okay, he's on to him now." But then he reveals something else when we do find out when he was attacked on the army base that it was a test, right? And he realizes as they're out on the porch talking, he kind of feels something, and he said, "Yeah, you were there that night." So one of the attackers was Doc. I guess he was part of the test, trying to test Hanlon. He was there, but he noticed that he had the same feeling in the back of his mind that he had while he's sitting on the porch, and he told him, "Stay out of my head." So he does know that he possesses something, some supernatural shit that he can do. So he's aware of it, and he told him to cut it out, pretty much.
No, and the funny thing is just that, in The Shining, when Doc is talking to the little kid Danny, he says a lot of people have the shine. They just ignore to use it sometimes, which again, we can see where Hanlon might have the shine. But the fact that Harlan was like, "I checked your brain, bro. There's zero fear in there. I'm not messing with you." That was such a dope line to put together. But again, my favorite, because you see the shine working, you see that he recognized it, because he said the only time I ever felt this was when you guys were jumping me to try to get something out of me.
Yeah.
And man, just awesome in my opinion, because again, I love The Shining. It's a favorite movie. Now, Howard kind of messes up the same way in The Shining when he actually says Doc, and the mother Wendy doesn't say. Well, she says, "How did you know his name was Doc?" And he was like, "I might have heard you say it." So this isn't the last time that Howard messes up using The Shining. But we then get to the Losers Club 3.0, being that members have died already in the movie theater, in the cemetery. And they're trying to do a seance because Rich is going off of what his tío had told him on how to do some santeria. And Pete, as soon as I saw the Jesus statue turn with the smile, creepy, I already knew that this was going to get crazy. Pete, talk to me about the graveyard scene and walk me through what you caught and what you thought was awesome.
I was waiting for it too. When I saw the statue, I was like, "Yeah, something's gonna happen with that statue." And then it did, like you said, it did kind of did like a evil grin. And then, of course, we already knew what was gonna happen. The same thing as in Ronnie's bedroom, Lilly in the supermarket. So we had another one of those episodes, but for all of them in the cemetery, all of them are witnessing it. And the whole thing about this, the reasoning for them going there was because they wanted to get a picture of it. So they were out there with the camera. They're running from the ghosts of the kids who were killed in the movie theater.
Creepy two faces, man.
And they're riding their bikes. They're trying to get out, and they're trying to get a picture at the same time. The camera falls multiple times. And they were able to get it, and they were able to get out. And then that takes them to, again, horrible parenting. How are you at home having dinner without a care in the world, and your son is doing freaking some witch doctor shit in the freaking cemetery? And then it's nighttime, Yeah, let's go break into the school so we can develop this film.
Yo, listen, them dropping the camera as many times as they did stressed me the hell out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Listen, and there's a moment in the mausoleum where we get a chance to see the clown glove hand against the wall, and that's when he takes the picture. And you're right, the kids breaking into the school to develop the film. Like, what the hell? You know what? We grew up in the Bronx, which was probably one of the most dangerous places to raise kids at the time that we were there. There was none of this that I knew of. None of this.
ACS must have not been out in the 60s because them kids would have been taken away.
So they finally are developing these pictures, and they get a picture of the kids. They get a picture of this really scary kind of silhouette. And, they ask, "What is that?" And they said it's a clown. And then it's cut scene.
Fade to
I
black.
can't tell you how I'm excited for this. I've never been, I don't know of a good horror TV series that carries a storyline as good as this. But I hope you guys join us again. Thank you so much to the 500 plus subscribers as we get to the next 1,000 subscribers. We love and enjoy talking to you guys. So please leave your comments if we missed anything on this show. Pete, take us home.
We will return.
The worst episode ever.